Hi, you guys. It's Amanda from HeismanHealth.com. I help female entrepreneurs eat for energy so that they can use that energy to bring forth their purpose and passion in the world, making it a more wonderful place for us all to be. And today is the last and final tip in this series that we've been doing on detoxing. And so if you haven't caught the first four, go ahead and go back and look at those. Okay? As you are jumping on, go ahead and say hi, let me know that you're here. And I might glance down. I wrote notes because that way I don't talk about the butterflies and the birds. I'm easily distracted. Okay, so tip 5 might seem like an obvious one because we've been doing these things around food and physical activity and screens, even different ways to detox all parts of our holistic health. And number 5 is to simply stop putting toxic stuff in our bodies. Stop putting toxic food in our bodies. Stop putting the toxins in our bodies to deal with in the first place. Of course, we're always going to have some amount of toxins from our environment and consumption. It's inevitable. However, the more you know, the better you do, right? So a lot of times we don't know how toxic the things that are presented to us as food can be. So it's a shame that we kind of have to be food detectives with our food system. But we actually, a lot of the time, as a society, we are not necessarily eating food. We are eating this like chemicalized food-like substance that has been engineered. So, and obviously, if you think about it in that way, that's not something your body was ever meant to handle. That's not something your digestive system was ever meant to handle. Your digestive system and all your parts want whole foods. They want things that are going to give them energy, fuel, nutrients to do their job, to do their bodily functions well. So that's pretty, I mean, we all know that, but it's hard to, sometimes it's hard to put it into practice because we do have to be such food detectives in our society. So if you're jumping on, say hey, I can see you. I'm just enjoying the gorgeous day and talking about detoxing. Enjoying the day and talking about detoxing. Tell me hi if you're here. So I was talking about how we can stop putting toxins in our body or massively reduce them. Hey Letty, how are you? I'm Amanda. I'm just talking about detoxing. And that we kind of have to be food detectives a little bit because we're presented with a lot of toxins in our food, in our processed food it's kind of like food-like substance. It's not really whole foods that our bodies were made to digest. So a lot of times we don't know because we just haven't been told. We don't know any better. And then once we do know, sometimes it's hard to do because we're actually addicted to the different sugars, salts, chemicals that are put in our food. So that's a tough spot to be in. But I also want to talk a little bit about what's happening in our intestines, what's happening in our gut, with our flora being destroyed. There's a biosis of gut bacteria. It needs to maintain homeostasis. It needs to maintain balance, right? The good bacteria in order for our immune system to function. So our digestion is heavily related to our immune system. And everything we feed it is building it or harming it, or it's affecting that biosis. It's affecting that balance. So I'm going to oversimplify this part of the biology because we're talking about where this is the part where that health coaches don't care, but we talk about poop all the time. But what we're doing in a cleanse is getting rid of a lot of waste that is sitting in our intestines. And over time, especially with folks that eat a lot of processed foods, GMOs, heavy amounts of meat, red meat, especially in dairy, and things, maybe they're sensitive to gluten, you can get impacted matter in the large intestine. That happens to us as humans when we're trying to digest things that we weren't meant to digest, or just an overabundance of these things without a balance of like fruits and vegetables and waters and things like this. So, it's not unheard of for folks to have inches even of impacted matter. And what gets dangerous is when that turns, pop up. I am rich and loved by the universe, and so are you. When that matter turns hard, it can get really hard and perforate the bowel wall, and toxins can cycle back through and make you sick. Not good. We want the toxins to go out and leave us alone. We got the good from the food we ate, and we want to let go of the rest, right? We already absorbed the nutrients. Speaking of nutrient absorption, so that's the large intestine, right? In the small intestine, the things you eat can even create a sludge along the walls, kind of like you think of a clogged artery. And so I'm doing this because the inside of your small intestine is covered by villi, which are these, again, I'm oversimplifying the biology lesson here, the digestive lesson, but villi are these small, finger-like, hair-like structures that jut out, and this is meant to exponentially increase the surface area of the internal lining of the small intestine, because that's what absorbs the nutrients. So we are made to absorb all the nutrients, all the good, all the gold out of the food really well, really, really well. So think about if you've got basically sludge, I'll call it, kind of in there from hydrogenated oils and fake foods and all the rest, then that's going to dramatically reduce the amount of nutrient absorption that you're able to, that's able to function. So even if you do have, and we won't get into this kind of detail, but the base has a different function than the tip as far as nutrients and enzymes. But let's say this person, is really sludged up and all of a sudden does eat a good thing, does eat a salad or something. It's going to take a while to work that stuff out, because if this is covered up, the good stuff can literally go right through you without you even absorbing any of the nutrients. It's like, man, I finally ate a salad and I didn't even get the benefit. So all that to say, let's not put that stuff in our mouths in the first place. Let's really work on being good stewards of our body and the information about food and things like that. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments. But what we don't realize is also how the people ask, well, how can I change this if I'm addicted? When you start to add in the good, the vegetables and the water and the things like that, it's going to naturally start to change your taste bud. It's going to naturally start to rebuild your gut bacteria, and everything's going to start functioning again to a point where you won't crave the crap anymore. You'll actually start to crave, your leafy greens and whatnot. So maybe hard to imagine, but it's happened. Speaking from experience, someone who is addicted to Snicker bars and pizza, pepperoni pizza, it can happen. And that's basically what we are doing in an accelerated version with the detox program, the spring cleansing program that I am running. We've already got a group of amazing women, gals, pre-partying over in the private Facebook group for this program. And we are doing an accelerated 3-day cleanse to really just release, to cleanse, to detox, to get rid of that which is no longer serving us, that which is no longer serving our beautiful bodies, our unique selves, and the purpose that we're trying to bring forth to the world. So if you are interested in that, I will link it above or below or wherever it shows up. But there is a 5-day support option and a 10-day support option, and they, but we'll all be detoxing accelerated on those 3 days, and then we kind of like step down and then step back up, so we have some time to prep and some time for integration. Letty says, I want to detox. Awesome, come join us. Come join us. I'll link it here as soon as I get off. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. But we're starting, our first prep day is tomorrow. So, and it's super affordable. The 3-day option is $33 and the 10-day option is $99. So it is super doable. If you do have any questions, Letty, let me know. And I've also been doing this series. This is the final tip all this week. This is number 5. So we've got 1 through 4 hanging out there if you'd like to go back and check those as well on this same page. If anybody else has any questions, I will come back and answer them in the comments below. So once again, that was tip 5 in our detoxing series. It's time for spring cleansing. It's time to step into this new way of being, this new paradigm, this new consciousness that we are doing and really owning our power. And a detox and the physical body is the next step for a lot of us. So I thank you guys so much. Thank you, Letty, for joining me. And if you guys watch the replay and need any support or questions answered, just go ahead and comment below. Okay, sending you so much love and appreciation. Have a wonderful day.